Hi guys, this is Jessamine of Jessamine Creates and welcome to my tropical rainforest cabin. I finally have the chance to do this. I've been waiting for this for a long time, and thank God the school asked us to make our own diorama, and from that to create your composition. So the idea is everything small. So all the leaves and grass and everything I collected already in advance to have the idea of what I'm gonna make, and then I decided to do tropical forest. Some of them are real leaves, real plants, and raw materials, but most of them are actually made by clay and some stones. So I combined everything already in advance and I painted out to look like real. And I use a lot of glue stick here, so you can imagine how many residue you will see around it, but it's okay because this is a purpose of composition painting, so I don't have to make it really clean, perfect. So the idea here is actually you're in a tropical forest, and on the left side is a fresh water, and on the right side you have a cabin or your house, a small tiny house where you sleep, and on the higher hill there is a small art studio where you can paint. Also a view of the forest. So actually this is my dream forest. Hopefully one day I will see this in real and probably gonna build my own tiny house here. How I created the water stream. Okay, I actually used a lot of glue here, glue stick, and then I melted it there with my blow dryer, and then it's glue there, it's stick there, and then later on I let it cool and painted it with acrylic paint. And then yeah, that's how it works, that's how it looks like when it's dry. If you have more budget than me, then you can also use epoxy for this. And the nice thing with epoxy, you can also mix it with a color that you like for example alcohol ink, to get the color of water, and then you just let it dry there. It really looks more water than a glue, but this is also works. But let's just sketch this together with fine liner and fountain pen, and I'll show you step by step how I created this beautiful sketch on my sketchbook from Koval. And I also use watercolor for this sketch, and I didn't use this time gouache, so you will also see me working with fine liner, drawing mostly, and coloring with watercolor. First thing, sketching with pencil, and normally when I do urban sketching I go straight with my fine liner, but this time I really want to make this nice and accurate to my sketchbook, so I use first pencil to create my composition. So I started here. Actually when I use pencil I don't really use all the details on my sketchbook, just the idea where the house is, the plants and the bushes and the water area, just to make sure that everything will fit on my sketchbook. So at first I use my fine liner or my fountain pen from Platinum on the right side of my sketchbook, so sketching the leaves. And when sketching the leaves, you don't really need to draw all the leaves there. Don't be crazy with that. Just make a volume of like a cloud form or a cotton ball form on that for a tree, and then try to have these curly lines to create the leaves effect. And actually you're gonna color it, so you don't really have to crazy with the details on the plants or grasses. So here I am sketching this again, the house, and I first try to sketch the lower part of the house, just to make sure that I have the right size of house that fits on the view of my sketch. So otherwise if I first start with the roof, it's gonna be a bit bigger and then I cannot change it anymore. So I decided to first start from the lower part, and then I can adjust my my house to the size that I wanted, because it has to look believable that it's a small tiny house in a sketch, just like on the diorama. I use here a waterproof fine liner, so I cannot erase it, I cannot remove it. It stay there when I put there. So if you want to ask me, do I also make everything perfect in one sketching? No, I always have a lot of mistakes when I'm sketching. For example, this house, I made the stairs a little bit too much on the right side, but I adjusted. I put it on more in the middle because it's logical that stair is next to the opening of the window of the door. So I adjusted it. So if you see the stairs there, it looks darker, but when I put watercolor there, you don't see it anymore. So when I sketch things like this or urban sketching, I normally start from the front to back, because I want to adjust everything. I want to make sure that everything will fit on my composition, and the background is just the background. So did I make all houses here by myself? No, this houses I'm sketching here is actually a mini bird house where I bought it in a hobby shop. I think it's like €1 per piece, and then I just removed some parts there, and the door there is actually a round thing because it's for the bird house, and I make it more rectangular shapes to look like a door. But this big house here that in front is actually made with carton, so I made it myself. So no, I didn't do everything by myself there, because it take a lot of time really to make this one. But the plants, most of the plants, I bought it like a grass. I think moss, you can buy it per pack. And then the banana plant is so difficult to find here, so I made it myself. So I make it from clay and then painted out the color of the banana plant. And this is actually an air plant, so every now and then I spray it and with water to stay green. And even the moss, I also spray it with water because I think they're still alive and they're not really totally dead. So I every now and then spray them, and thank God that all the materials I use here are dry, and it's also not paper, so it can handle the stress of water or moist. Sometimes I just add some elements that's not even in my diorama, which is also fine if I think like it's okay to be there. Like this banana plant, I cannot make 2 banana plants on my diorama because I don't have too much time back then, so I just added it on my sketch here. And if you were gonna ask me, do I have a reference photo on this diorama, or is it really exist, this kind of view? Well, no, I don't have it, and I don't think it exists in nature, so I actually created it myself, composed it myself. But I have this poster in our living room, a huge poster with a view of the rainforest, and I get the idea of a perspective there, the depth. So the background there, how far is it? How far is the background? How faded it is, and also the leaves and things like that. I use that reference on the poster as idea. How high is the trees? But the houses and everything, the bricks and the water thing is I composed it myself. So it's just my idea. For me, it's very important to see the perspective, how deep is my view from the background, and also how high is actually the banana plant in real. So it has to be believable that the trees are not the same level as the house, because this is a mini house. So I hope I get this idea also on the diorama, because that's really what I wanted to show here. Okay, finally we are putting colors on this sketch, and I'm trying my best to keep the balance here, bit not too busy, because you see a lot of trees here, a lot of plants, and I don't want to overwhelm everything. I don't want to show everything, all the details on this one, just the idea that it's a rainforest. So what I did is actually from form first, coloring it from form with and not with all the small details. So for example, the green area, I color it first with one color green, and then diluted with water, so wash watercolor, so it's not really dark. And after that, I let it dry, and then layer it with more darker color. And actually the background, I didn't really do too much on it, because I want to show most of the time that as much as possible the depth of the sketch, that the house is more on front side and the background is a background. So but I really like to show the details on my water, and thank God it's also complement the color of cool and warm tone here, both sides. So when I did that, it also makes sense. It also make a direction to look at, and that's the reason why I did this one. But actually this composition is you're looking a lot of direction. You're looking on the water as a direction to go to the back part, to the house, but also the left side, the right side of the house is also a way going to the painting house. So you also almost look on two sides to direct you to that small tiny house on the back, also the studio, because that's more me. And the house in front is actually just for a normal cabin house, but the back part, the small houses there, is represent or symbolize me as an artist. So that's how I created this composition. And I love plants, that's why I also show a lot of plants on this sketch. And also that's why I choose a tropical rainforest as my diorama, because I love plants. And here I'm already creating the details of the front plants, or and trees, so you will see the details of the darker area of the green. And because of that, it's also give the idea of grasses or leaves, and that's why I didn't really too much focus on lines and details, or hatching on the leaves, because the watercolor will works the same way. It's silly because when I'm sketching this diorama, also when I'm creating the diorama, I always still have that feeling of being there, and I feel like it's real, and I hope it's real, because that the color and the room from this mini house, it also gives you a feeling of, or a zen. So if for example that water thing there, it makes me feel like I hope this place is real, and hope one day I'll see this and creating my small cabin there. And you can rent it out if you want to, and I'm gonna call it Jasmine's cabin. Okay, that's it. It's finished. Thank you guys for watching this. And if you like to see more of this kind of diorama sketching, let me know, because I still like to create more of this setting and just making a diorama itself, and also sketching it in the future. So let me know, message me if you like it, and I'm gonna make a new one. I was planning already make a new one. And coming up next is a sketchbook tour again with my mini sketchbook. So I hope to see you there again, and see you next time. Bye.